Hoping she could collar a deal was Sarah Gleave, accompanied by four-legged friend Top.
He's a good lad. He's a good boy.
Sarah was seeking £30,000 in return for a 5% share in her anti-theft leads, aimed at preventing a serious issue for owners, dog snatching.
We've got a wire core, so that is scissor and knife proof. We've got what I call the anti-snatch handle. So you can put your hand through and that helps with it just being, pulled out of your hand.
Proud owner of 3 dogs, Peter Jones, was alarmed at the thought of someone wanting to pinch his pooches.
Are we living in that society where somebody's going to come up to me with a knife to cut my lead while I'm walking the dog?
Yes.
Do you not think that attaching me and the dog to that lead is probably not good for me?
Putting you at risk, you mean?
Yeah.
There's an element of risk with anything, I believe.
This doesn't padlock me to the dog, does it?
Can if you want to.
No, genuinely, I prefer not to be. Because if somebody's there with a knife, you just see me running down the road dragging a dog.
As the only non-dog-owning dragon, Sarah Davies was keen to get back to business and establish how many products Sarah had managed to shift.
Are you able to walk me through your dog lead sales?
So, first year was 72,000 turnover.
So, you've come in with a £600,000 valuation on a business turning over 72,000.
Oh, God. Can I be totally honest?
You can.
I was willing to give away more.
So, tell us what you think is a reasonable valuation.
You're in luck because I was sat at my desk early this morning looking at this precise question.
Go on,
Answer
then.
it.
Go on.
25%.
That's a completely different conversation. I'm back to being nice, Dragon.
All smiles as Stephen Bartlett began to quiz Sarah about her potential routes to market.
Are you selling these on Etsy, Amazon?
I've actually found that my biggest success comes from my own social media marketing.
Are you doing paid ads?
No, I occasionally do Facebook ads.
I've got to be honest, selling 72,000 in revenue in 1 year without doing paid ads at all, pretty impressive.
The past looked relatively rosy, but what of the future?
If you walk out of here with that 30 grand,
Yeah,
what are we going to do this next year?
I'm looking at 104,000.
Which will give us how much gross profit and net profit?
That's one thing I've not worked out.
So how are you giving me the money back?
I'm not very experienced in that area. Stop it.
With some critical information unavailable, Sarah's time in the den appeared to be drawing to a close.
I think you're a really lovely person, and I think you've got a business here that's going to make you money, but I don't think it will make me a return as an investor. So for that reason, I'm going to say that I'm out.
Sarah departed without any cash. Next to face the dragons is Scottish Borders-based businessman Grant Bruce, who thinks his gizmo could be a game changer.
I think there's a gap in the market right now. I think it's a niche that nobody's really explored yet. So I want to be the first to market and be the market leaders. Hello, my name is Grant Bruce, and I'm here today to ask for a £40,000 investment in return for a 20% stake in my company, Flux Choice Limited. Flux Choice was founded with the idea of radicalising the everyday keyring market. A lot of people in everyday life carry around a keyring of some form, often filled with a variety of gadgets and lanyards. But these gadgets are often cheaply made, low quality and bulky. We don't think it should be that way. Our first product, the Pop Lumen, aims to fill this gap in the market. Pop Lumen is a miniature flashlight which goes on your keyring. When needed, you simply pop the body off the base and the torch automatically turns on. This can then be attached to any metal surface for hands-free use. And when you're done, simply pop it back in your keyring, it'll be secured again. Simple as that. Thank you very much for listening. You'll find a sample in your box next to you.
A business that makes convenient accessories is the prospect on offer from Grant Bruce. He's prepared to hand over 20% of his company in exchange for £40,000. Peter Jones is first to shine a light on the keyring concept.
So, in essence, you have created a pop-off keyring torch.
Yes.
What motivated you to do that?
Well, I've always carried a torch around in my keyring.
Is that because you're walking around a lot in the dark, or?
No, I just always found it useful to have.
And do you have to pop it off for it to come
Yeah,
on?
so if you just hold the base and pull it, and it'll turn on. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, the only thing for me is that I have got big hands. I find it quite weird because it's really small.
Yes.
So it's a keyring torch for small people.
No, it's small so it can fit comfortably in your pocket.
So how much are you selling this for?
So on Amazon, that's $23.99.
23.
How much?
Yes, 23.
Okay. And Grant, what have you done before this?
So I studied mechanical engineering at university, and I then went on to work in a lighting company where I was a product designer there.
And you're still there now?
I'm still there now, yes, full time.
Okay. Look, I think it's very innovative. It is genuinely very well designed. I am quite impressed with that.
Thank you.
Early praise for the entrepreneur's endeavours from Peter Jones. Stephen Bartlett now wants to get a better understanding of Grant's target market.
Can you talk to me about the use case for this? Trying to understand who would be buying it and why.
The use case, so imagine you're in your car at night, you've broken down, you need to change your tyre. Now, just stick it right to your car rim.
Stick it to the car.
The underarch of the car, sorry, because it's magnetic, so you can use it hands-free.
So in that example, if I was the type of person to try and change my own tyre in the dark, which I definitely wouldn't, I would probably use the torch on my phone, right? I would just lean it against something and then...
Yes, but that's a lot more awkward to do.
Well, it's not really, because I can just get my phone and lean it against the car tyre. I can't understand the use, because I think there's probably two markets. I think there's one market, which is the everyday person who is walking through their garage, pulls out their phone and lights their garage. And then there's probably the other end of the market, which is people that are mechanics or, I don't know, climbers who would probably opt for a more substantial product.
And we have had a lot of people that use it in trade. We've had a lot of feedback from that.
A lot of people? How many?
People from feedback, I'm not...
10?
There's probably more than that, but...
How many?
Yeah, probably about 10.
About 10. So, I mean, that's not a good sample size to
No,
conclude any sort of important conclusion, right?
Grant struggles to convince Stephen Bartlett that there's a market for his fun-sized flashlight. And Tuka Suleiman now wants to focus on the cost of the contraption.
The product's credible, don't doubt that. But it's overpriced. To me, the gadget on your keyring is a $9.99 product.
Okay, we've made good profit so far considering our size.
So what profit have you made so far?
Turnover so far has been 9,700. Gross has been 4,300 and net is 1,400.
So what have you paid yourself?
Nothing so far.
What have you charged any overheads?
No, literally everything in this business has been done by me so far.
So Grant, so what we're saying is, you want us to invest, you're not going to take any money, there'll be no overheads, it'll all be profit, whatever we sell.
For now, yes.
Grant,
Hello.
this is really nice.
Thank you.
You're really cute. but it's a keyring with a light on for 25 quid.
Yes.
Tuka said it was really credible. It's not. Peter said it's really innovative. It's not. They're just being nice back to you because you're cute and this is nice. But it's not an investable proposition. And I don't want you to go and spend more money on this. I think you're a great product engineer, but you need to invent products that people really need at a value that people are prepared to pay. And this is none of that today. So it's definitely not something that I can invest in. I'm out.
A reality check from Sarah Davies, who fails to see the investment opportunity. Perhaps Deborah Meaden can predict a brighter future for the pint-sized product.
I'm not sure you've made the right pitch here today, because I don't think you're pitching this. This is your first
Yes, this is the
of
first.
many products
Yes.
that you intend to bring out.
Yes.
But I think you probably should have brought your background in engineering forward a little more.
Yeah.
And actually, I think it's lovely. I mean, it's very tactile. However, it isn't mass market, it's gadget market.
That's just the one product, though. I've already got a new design pretty much ready to go. It's for a pen. It's a similar sort of
Grant,
idea.
you're an inventor, which is fantastic. What you haven't got is a selling machine.
Yeah.
For me to get a vision for this sort of umbrella business, I'd need to understand that you understand the route to the selling machine. So if you haven't sold that to me, I worry that you're not going to be able to understand how to sell this to the world. So I'm afraid, Grant, I won't be investing. I'm out.
From a product perspective, it's definitely there. But it's just very, very hard to try and even form a business out of this or make this a real investment. So whilst I've had a bit of fun even thinking, when you said pen, I went, oh, it's quite similar to my pen. But then I thought, why? Why would I put a torch on my pen?
Sorry, my new design was not for a torch on a pen. It's for a pen with a similar magnetic base.
With a torch?
No, no torch.
What, just a pen? Grant, pens have been around a long time. I think you need to rethink about this.
So imagine a half-size pen. It folds out into a full-size pen.
Wow. Okay. Look, I think it's a neat product, but it doesn't mean that it's a business or investable. So sadly, for that reason, I'm out.
It's okay.
I have to agree with the Dragons. I think what you've made here is really, really well made and put together. My issue is I tend to think it's pointless because the 5 Dragons set up here today all have phones in their pocket which have torches on. Those torches are only going to get better. So I don't understand where you fit in the market. And so for that reason, I'm out.
3 more dragons depart, leaving only Tuka Suleiman with the potential to do a deal. Could there be some light at the end of the tunnel for the illuminating accessory?
You are a credible engineer. No doubt. You've created a little masterpiece.
Thank you.
However, as a business, this has not lit me up with passion.
Sorry, are you pausing for the laugh there?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That's where we've stooped.
What can I say, guys?
Oh, dream me up.
Unfortunately, you haven't lit me up with passion. And I'm out.
Thank you, Tuka.
It's all over for Grant.
Go and light them up.
Oh, you don't have to say it again, Tuka, it just makes it worse.
Having failed to win over the dragons with his tiny torch, he leaves the den with nothing.
Feeling okay, a bit disappointed, but they had a lot of good words to say about the product itself. If I went in again, I don't think I would have done anything differently. I would have just been myself. And at least I thought it was cute.
Last up is Reading-based Chang Lu, who hopes to follow in the footsteps of the Tesla founder, one of the richest entrepreneurs on the planet.
Elon Musk really inspires me, and I wanted to be someone like him, really making a difference to the world.
Well, this one looks exciting.
Bit like something out of a George Orwell movie at the moment.
Chang hopes his business will be the perfect example of how man and machine can work together in perfect harmony.
Our vision is really in the future that we can create cohesive relationship between human and robot that ensures the technology benefit humanity, not destroying the humanity.
Hello, Dragons. My name is Chang. I'm the founder of Extent Robotics. I come to Ask Dragons for $150,000 investment in exchange of 5% of our equity stake. Technology will replace jobs, but we believe no one should be left behind, and everyone can be part of this revolution. So Extent Robotics is building an intuitive human-robot interface software to help people to work remotely by operating robot through our immersive virtual reality interface. This way, their job can be safer, less travel, and even access to global job opportunities. We're pre-trading, but with your help, we can transform the way we live and work and make our world a better place. I would like to invite one of the dragons to try the
Go on,
robot.
Stephen.
Okay.
Is that because you need to be young to be able to
No,
operate?
it's because I'm going to put that headset on and it's going to ruin my hair.
An augmented reality interface that allows humans to control robots in a different location is the proposition on offer from Chang Lun.
So I'm coming up round the back of this puppy.
Yeah, you can try to grasp the tails or legs.
He's asking for £150,000 in exchange for 5% of his business.
And then you can lift it on top of the box and release.
Let me go, let me go.
Oh,
Oh, tickle his tummy now.
he's a good boy.
Despite failing in Operation Place the Puppy in the Box, the interactive demo has intrigued Stephen Bartlett.
Interesting.
But Deborah Meaden is first to interface with the entrepreneur, and she wants a better understanding of how Chang's technology could change the world.
Can you be really clear on the usage that you see? Because you must have been thinking when you were designing it, oh, this would be good for that, and this would be good for that.
Yeah, so firstly, healthcare, where you maybe need some experts from a far away distance that you don't have locally.
So remote expertise, yeah.
Yeah. So the second area is more industrial inspection and maintenance. And an example is the nuclear decommissioning.
And 3?
And the third one is hospitality. So we've been trialing our system with several UK restaurants that are actually doing the bartending robots for them.
Do you have a sense of how much this is going to cost?
Yeah, so the general system, the hardware would cost around 5,000 to 6,000. So our business is to sell the license for our software, ranging from 2,000 to 5,000, depending on what robot it is. For this particular one, it's about 1,500 for the license.
Okay.
Deborah Meaden discovers that Chang's business model has more than one revenue stream. But Stephen Bartlett wants to nail down when the concept will start creating cash.
When do you think you'll be making money?
It's probably quite soon, because we already have universities in interest of collaborating, where they have a robot in care home that's taking care of the elderly.
On that specific application in the care home, can you describe to me exactly what the technology will do in that care home?
So basically, it's a care home robot that can run around with robot arms, and maybe 20% of the task is automatable. There's still 80% that still require human operations.
And why is that robot better than a human in that use case?
Because that allows people to serve elderly much more easily.
What's the current problem with humans serving the elderly?
Well, we'll be having labor shortage. We'll be having more elderly people than we are able to serve with the current labor.
For me, it just feels like it's some way off, being able to put a robot into a care home. Then I do feel quite sad about the fact that my granddad in a care home will be served his meal by a robot. I don't necessarily know if that's a future that I want to buy into either.
I mean, it doesn't stop you from going in person, but it's an option. If, for example, daddy wants to have a pill that is urgently needed, and he just needs someone to pick it up for him, and that will be a big problem if it's late.
Chang's pitch begins to malfunction as Stephen Bartlett questions the ethics of replacing care workers with computerized droids. Tuka Suleiman now wants to get a glimpse of the business's future and find out if there'll be a pot of gold at the end of this robotic rainbow.
So for the first 12 months, what do you plan to turn over?
200K,
And how much will you burn in that first 12 months?
a little bit less than 1 million.
So if you're going to lose £1 million next year, then you've got to raise more money.
Yeah. So we're planning for next year's for the 1 million round.
Whoa. So really, if one is taking a 5-year view or a 10-year view, my 5%, it'll probably be 0.5%. By the time you've raised and raised and raised, that's the problem. You know? So if I invest today, by the time it starts making money, I'll be down to hardly anything. I'll lose interest. But I guess this is the future, and I'm going to leave it for the young ones to invest. So for that reason, I'm out.
Diminishing equity and slow returns are not enticing for Tuka Suleiman, and he terminates his part in the proceedings. Does marketing whiz kid Stephen Bartlett share Chang's vision for his technological mission?
For technology like this, you need to have, typically, I think, a really clear entry to the market, where you say, this is where we're going to introduce our technology and get the world used to it. If you had to pick one of the 3 applications you talked about earlier, which one do you really think is going to be the place where this takes off?
Well, so far from what we have in terms of tractions, majority is around healthcare.
Give me a really specific example in healthcare.
Closed suction, for example, for COVID patient.
What's closed suction?
So it's basically you have a tube that needs to go into the throat, and you need to regularly changing that tubes for the patient that's using the ventilator.
So for this technology to be useful in that application, you'd need real precision robotics.
Mm-hmm.
And what I experienced, I couldn't even pick up a dog. So getting to the point where I can't pick up a dog, to the point where we're willing to trust the robotics to put a tube into the throat of someone that's severely ill, feels like a long way off. The absolute crisis we'd have if one thing went wrong once. So for us to get there, the amount of testing and evidence and trust we'd have to have in precision robotics, to me, feels like we're about 5 years off. And also, you're probably going to need an 8-figure investment for you to stand a chance, because there are other competitors that are raising 9-figure investments in this space that are way further ahead. And as an investor, for me at this stage, it just feels like too high a risk to take. So for that reason, I'm going to have to say that I'm out.
Stephen Bartlett deems Chang's visionary venture too expensive and walks away from the deal. Does Deborah Meaden believe this augmented reality can become commercial viability?
It's just really, really hard to evaluate the technology and how far it has to go, how much time it's going to take, and how much money it's going to take. I'm not I take risk, but I don't like jumping into the dark. So I'm really sorry. I really wish you all the best, but I'm out.
Appreciate it, Deborah.
Chang, some of what you've told me today I like and I'm on board with. Other bits I don't like. I don't like the thought that even by the time old man he is in a care home, it might be a robot delivering his nighttime pills. But I do appreciate and accept you are not the one making the decision on where the world's heading. You are just going with the flow and facilitating that. Mm-hmm. But I think to do that, you need people and investors on board who can be influential and can assist on that journey. And that's not me. So I won't be investing today, and I'm out.
2 more dragons exit the deal, making Peter Jones Chang's last hope for investment. Has the entrepreneur's cyber science caught the imagination of the tech tycoon?
I was sitting here, I was just asking Stephen, because for the life of me, I've just been going off my little world with the Avengers. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember the guy that puts the suit on, Robert Downey Jr.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
Oh. Yeah.
Tony Stark.
Tony Stark.
He's the crazy, inventor.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting because it's sort of Iron Man without the travel.
Yeah.
So you actually don't have to get into the robotic suit.
That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting space because I do think sort of augmenting humans with the utilisation of VR is definitely something that will be permanent in our society. You can see a time where you could say, tonight, we've got Gordon Ramsay coming to our restaurant.
Exactly.
You know, you could end up with a Deborah Meaden robot giving you business advice, but Deborah's at home in
Yeah,
in
definitely
Devon.
not food, definitely not cooking.
Not cooking, you're pretty appalling at that, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm appalling.
But no, I do find it interesting that you could be anywhere, and this is your element of transportation. So I really like it. And I'm going to make you an offer. And I'm going to offer you all of the money, but I want 25% because I think that so many businesses like you've created spend a lot of money and end up in in a robotic graveyard. And I think I can help you get to a different place with it.
Appreciate your offer. That's really, really encouraging. Okay, let me think about it.
Do you want to talk to the robot?
Yeah, awesome, thanks.
Peter Jones buys into the vision and makes a bid. But in return for the £150,000, he wants 5 times more than the 5% equity that's on the table. Will the entrepreneur accept the terms or push for a better deal?
Yeah. Okay. I would like to accept your offer.
Great.
Fantastic.
Chang has done it.
Well, you've just got yourself a Dragon's Den Iron Man.
He bags himself a super investor
Thank you.
and brings some business steel to his futuristic firm.
Well, it's like magic. This is happening. Yeah, it's crazy. I'm sure working with Peter will really change the future of extended robotics and ultimately changing the future of humanity.
I think it might be the Robert Downey Jr. image I think that we've got going on here.
I
It
agree.
just needs a jetpack and he'll be off.